What's going on, people? Welcome to the LV Live Show. I'm LV Live. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Once again, I want to thank all the new subscribers for coming by to my channel, man. It is truly, truly appreciated. So, this is going to be a playoff preview show, man, for the New York Knicks versus the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Something that we should be looking forward to, man. Of course, the Knicks just did not look good against Boston this year. Of course, outside of the second game. I'll touch on that. But Boston won the series this year 4-0, right? The Knicks have really struggled against Boston. If you think about it, the last eight to nine times, they've only won once. So, the Knicks have not fared well against Boston. Defending champs, we know how good they are. And I just think that the Knicks, it's a confidence thing because I don't think for 1 second that they can't beat Boston. I think they can, proven in the last game. But I just think that Boston has a number. They have something there, just the way they run their schemes, matchups that really give the Knicks problems, right? So hence, that's why we went out and we got a guy like OG Anunoby. That's why we made a big deal to get Mikal Bridges, for those 5 picks, right? That's when we went out and got a guy like Karl Anthony Towns, to where we pretty much were assembling our team to beat Boston. That's just the fact of the matter, right? We put this team together to be able to defend, not defend, to be able to beat the defending champs. And that was the goal. And this year didn't look like it. Boston is a tall task. They really, really are. I mean, if you look at the way they're constructed, from Tatum to Porzingis to, of course, Jaylen Brown, right? Then you add out there, then you have Drew Holiday, right? Derek White. I mean, just all together, just what they do. Of course, we forget a guy like, old timer, a guy like Al Horford that's been in this league forever. He's still out there playing, right? Then you have a guy like Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench, Hauser come off the bench. I mean, they throw out a lot of different bodies and guys that can really knock it down. They are truly, truly a 5-out team. And so that's something that's going to be a tall task for the Knicks to conquer, man. But I think we can. Jeremy, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV Live. So now, okay, if we want to go back to the beginning, right, of this season, right, the Knicks opening day, that was the thing, right? Everybody wanted to see what these Knicks were going to look like, of course, against the defending champs. So, of course, the NBA put us smack dab opening night against the Boston Celtics, ring night, shall I call it, right? Ring ceremony, however you want to call it, right? And we got destroyed that game, right? We got destroyed. You could tell that we were just coming together as a team. Remember, Towns didn't even get the whole training camp in. That deal was made kind of towards the middle of training camp. So you could tell they were still trying to figure each other out. And Boston took full advantage of this, right? We lost that game by 27. They blew our doors off. I believe it was 132 to 109. And in that game, you just saw Boston. I think they took like 61 threes and made like 30 of them. It was something insane, right? And it gave us a pause with this team. And throughout the season, Knicks played well. I thought that they had a lot of great moments during the season. But whenever we would play against Boston, you could see the gap. You could see it. It was very, very evident. And I thought that really had an impact on this team as far as confidence goes. And I don't think it's the fact that they feel like they can't beat Boston. It's just that it felt like in all those games, they just seemed shell-shocked because, Boston would come out and throw the first punch, and the Knicks just could not get their footing. They just couldn't. The great one, NBIC 2.0, man. Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV Live on this playoff preview show. So we just couldn't get our footing. It was just it's like a boxer, right? You know, everybody's got a plan until they get hit, right? That's the old saying. So they would hit us first, and we just could not respond because of offensively how explosive they are. I gave the rundown in their roster, and that was tough. And in that second game, we lost that game, I believe, by 23. Right, the score was 131 to 104. Right, so we were showing that okay, we just we just don't have it. I was hoping that next game, we would kind of show a little bit more fight than we did the first game, and it looked like the same thing all over again. They got out to a big lead, and we just couldn't catch up after that. And then comes the third game, we started to look a little bit better, right? We lost that game by 15, which was 118 Excuse me, lost it by 13, 118 to 105. So each time that we play them guys, we play them a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And that time I thought that, we showed a lot of fight, but Boston just even in that game, they just had the edge on us, man. The score is not truly indicative of that game because I remember that game. That's when Shamet and those guys came in and they kind of made a good push, but I didn't feel like Boston didn't have control of that game. They did. And so we lost that game. But then the last game, which was at the Garden, I believe it was on April 8th, I believe the game was. It was on TNT. And I felt that the Knicks really, really came out and wanted to send a message that, okay, we're not going to get swept by this team. And I thought they did. I thought the Knicks played a really, really good game. And I thought they really went out and really started to establish themselves. That was the biggest. That's what I wanted to see. Out of all the games, I want to see, can they end off strong and really kind of get a win against these guys? And, of course, they wound up losing 119 and 117, but they were up on 3 with Josh Hart layup at the end. Brunson gave him a nice bounce pass, put us up by 3, right? And then Tatum, of course, Tibbs did not foul, but Tatum's came down, made that move on OG Anunoby. That step back was lethal. And bang, bang, put them into overtime, 107. And then we wound up losing it down the crunch time. Of course, Porzingis was a monster again, hitting that big-time 3, put them up, and that was it, right? 119, 117, they won. So, to me, there's some positives you could pull from that game. And, I honestly think that, the saying is when you go into a playoff series, when you go into it's 0-0, right? We don't want to think about, the matchups and what happened in the past and all these different things. We don't want to focus on that. But a lot of times as players, it's really hard not to because you got to really identify the matchups, right? That's the key with this. It doesn't really have anything to do with X's and O's. It does. Let me not say that. It does have something to do with X's and O's, but a lot of it is personnel. And even though OG Anunoby's a really good player, Tatum's a tough check, man. He's really, really tough check. First team All-NBA guy. He's kind of getting his rhythm. And so then you have him, but he can somewhat be contained by OG Anunoby, somewhat. The problem is Porzingis. He's the problem. Now, of course, the X's and O's come into effect of how they offensively play. That to me, that's the secondary. But the first issue to me is the personnel, and Porzingis is the problem. He's the matchup nightmare because I thought last game the Knicks played really, really well, but it's really, really hard to guard a 7'3", 7'4" guy that could step out, hit the 3, can go in a post, is great with pick and roll. I mean, his nickname is the unicorn, right? So that's the issue that we're having. Because of the X's and O's part, now the 5 out that they do, that's really tough, man. That's really tough because now you have so many shooters on the outside. Everybody can knock it down from, Drew Holiday, of course, Jaylen Brown, of course, White, and of course, Tatum, and now Porzingis. You have to guard that 3-point line. You have no choice because if not, you'll find yourself down 20 fast. You'll be up by 3, then you'll look up and they went on a little run, you'll be down by 12 or 15 and they'll bump it up to 20. I mean, that's how potent they are offensively. So it's a couple of things I think the Knicks are going to have to do. Like they're not going to have a choice. The first thing to me is they're going to have to watch a lot of film. And I also think that what's going to have to happen is they're going to have to steal some stuff from what Orlando did because Orlando guarded the 3-point line really, really good against Boston. That's really what they were focused on. They're going to have to get out of that drop coverage. That's something that cannot happen at all. And, Tibbs is going to have to get back in his defensive coach bag, even though we know he struggled, and really, really pay attention to that because that is something they cannot do. I would rather layups and dunks than threes because they run them off fast. I mean, they chuck them up. Like I said, the first game they shot 61 guys. That's the type of team they are. They get up 3-pointers. So you're going to have to get them, crash the boards. Everyone's going to have to rebound. You're going to have to run. You're going to have to get down and, score really quick and pay attention to them coming down, looking for open threes because that's exactly what they do. They drive and kick. And every person that drives knows exactly what corner they're going into to look for a perfect outlet pass for that guy who's driving to spray it, whatever direction he wants to go in. And that's why they're so lethal. And everybody can knock it down. So the Knicks are going to have to be smart with their defensive coverages, smart with their decision-making. They're going to have to switch everything. They can't double. They're going to have to switch everything. And I thought last game, I saw something that I thought was really, really promising. I saw Brunson defending really, really well. And so you're going to have to do that. You cannot play drop with them. Tatum will destroy you. Tatum's averaged 33.5 against us this year. And every time I've seen them play with Tatum this year against the Knicks, even with OG Anunoby, it looks like it's not a problem for him. He does what he wants. He hasn't played one bad game against us this year. One. Any little space, he's knocking it down. Knocking it down. And also, too, the biggest thing with Tatum, which I think is kind of gets overlooked, is his size. I mean, that's the thing with him. Because he's not a 6'7" guy or 6'6" guy. No, he's a legit 6'9", 6'10". So he's tough to deal with. For OG Anunoby and definitely for Mikal Bridges. He's bigger than Bridges. See, Cade was a different problem because Cade was only 6'6". He's not 6'9", 6'10". See, that's different. So Tatum can rise right above Bridges and knock it down. Right? That's easy for him. He could do that in his sleep. Right? So that was the issue that was happening during the series. When they would make that switch, they just could not get out the Tatum. They just couldn't. And he just was rising over everybody. So what I think the biggest thing the Knicks are going to have to do to really, really take care of Boston, and I hear people talking about the matchups of Towns and what I think Towns has a definite advantage over Tatum. If you watched last game, you saw Towns taking advantage of Tatum in that post. So I think that's something that they're going to have to do. They're going to have to exploit that. And they're going to have to look for that. Yes, Towns may not be able to get up as many threes, even though, of course, that's a big part of his game. But we're going to really need him to kind of really punish Tatum down there in that Baja, right? Because what happens is, and it's just what it is, because of the way Josh is, Porzingis, who most likely is going to be guarding Josh, is going to float over there to Towns in that post. So with him floating over, that's going to leave open Josh. Josh can penetrate. Now Josh can penetrate and spray. So that's kind of like what you have to look forward to doing. But you got to really establish that low post presence with Towns. You're going to have to do that. And when I saw him playing this year and I saw him going against Tatum in the post, he took advantage of him. So to me, that's something we have to do. We can't think about it. We can't. That's a big thing to me that comes back down to Tibbs. Tibbs has got to really get this offensive scheme together. Not this, read and react ISO ball, because that's all it is, man. Let's not get confused by that. That's all it is. Read and react. That's ISO. It's just a fancy way of saying it. He's going to have to get better with that. And he's going to have to change some things up regarding that. I think Brunson takes advantage of any of the lineups who they throw out there on him. I think White is good. I think Drew Holiday is good. But I think the way Brunson is playing right now, I don't think anybody could check him. So I think Brunson's going to have his way with the series. Brunson in this series is averaging, I believe, 26. He's averaging 26 a game, close to 27. We're going to have to probably bump that up to about 30, 32. He's going to have to be on his playoff numbers, right, where he's averaging over 30 in the playoffs, right? He's going to have to be that. He's going to have to be exceptional in order for us to pull this off, this monumental task, right? He's going to have to be He has been in the playoffs, right? He has worn his cape, but we're gonna really need him to win his cape in this series, and he's gonna have to take full advantage of whoever's on him, and that's what we're gonna need to, because once again, we're gonna have to be able to keep up with him offensively. So that's to me, that's the biggest thing. We're gonna have to be able to keep up with him offensively, and so that's where we're gonna need Brunson to be Brunson. He's gonna have to be exceptional in this series in order for us to pull out, this upset victory, and in this series. So that's that. I think Josh Hart, believe it or not, is going to be big in this series, and he's going to be big not just because he does Josh Hart things, but he's going to have to shoot the ball. He's going to have to be very confident in his shot and knock it down. He's going to have to do that. And the reason why I say that is because with Porzingis floating off, not really respecting him, he's going to have to make him pay. He's going to have to. The more he does that, the better we're going to be. Because then it's going to keep Porzingis to where he's going to have to come out on Josh, and then that leaves it open for Brunson to go one-on-one, or Towns to go one-on-one, or find OG Anunoby on back cuts, find Bridges on back cuts, and then that will be beautiful basketball. But you got to make him respect you. You have to, because if not, then it's going to be easy to defend, man. Because then they're not even. It's basically going to be playing 5-on-4, and we're going to need our wings to step up. We are. Bridges was solid last game they played, but we're going to need our wings. OG Anunoby has not played well against Boston this year at all. I think he's averaging maybe like 10 points or something like that, maybe even under that. So he has not played well against Boston at all this year. So we're really going to need those guys to step it up offensively. And so I think that plays a major part as well. What I do think could be a secret weapon for us if he wakes up is Deuce. And the reason why I say that is because he should be motivated by the fact that they have another guy off the bench over there who's going to probably win the sixth man this year. Remember, they had Malcolm Brogdon, I believe he won a couple years ago for the Celtics. But they have another guy over there that's going to most likely get it. Or maybe, of course, they talk about Beasley, of course, from Detroit. He might get it. But I think Peyton Pritchard's going to wind up winning sixth man of the year this year. So that should motivate Deuce to want to really go after this matchup here. We know how good Peyton Pritchard is, man. He's been lights out for them all this year. So this has got to be a situation to where Deuce really takes on that challenge. Right? And so to me, that's big. He's got to get back in the gym. He's got to be confident with his shot, knock it down. And that's going to be big for us, because if we would have had Deuce's offensive punch, we would have got rid of them boys in maybe 5 or maybe even 4 games, because we were better than Detroit. But without that production from the bench, that's really, really hard, man, because now you're putting all the onus, on the first unit to really score a majority of points. So we need production from Deuce. Like, we really, really need him, because we need to match what Peyton Pritchard gives to them. I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying he should be motivated to want this matchup, to take advantage of Pritchard, get up on him defensively, and beat him out on the offensive end, right? Take full advantage of that. And so I think this should be a motivating factor for Deuce going forward. Now, I also think who's another X factor, I think, is Mitch. That second unit with who's the big man? Who's the big man? Anybody just put in the chat. Who's the big man that comes off the bench for them? He used to play for the Knicks. I forget his name. I have it right here. What's the big man's name? It's not Hauser. Hauser's the shooter. Who's the big man that comes off the bench for them? I'm trying to get his name, man. Give me 1 second. Is it Luke Cornett? Is that his name? I just want to make sure I'm saying it right. I don't want to butcher this guy's name. Yes, Luke Cornett, right? He's 7'1". So to me, that can be a good matchup right there, because I thought he took full advantage of that, and I thought that he was giving Precious problems, and I think that that's why also too Precious isn't going to really see time, because he did not play well at all in those series against Boston. I think Mitch can cause problems. He's already proven it in the past, and also last game too. He was giving Tatum problems out there when they switch. See, when they do a switch at the top of the key, I feel comfortable with Mitch guarding Tatum. He's proven it in the past that he can move his feet well enough, as Big Perk would say, moving those puppies. Right? He moves his feet well. He gets into the shot to the shotter, gets into the shooter to where he can contest, a really good contest, can block shots. He did it last game, where we can get out and go in a run, and we can score some easy baskets. Mitch has proven that, right? So to me, I think he's going to be a huge X factor, because him rebounding, him blocking shots, him being able to defend those pick and rolls, I think will be fabulous for us. So I think he's going to be huge here. Huge. And so, he's going to probably have to get a lot of minutes here, because I really want to see that double big lineup against Boston, because I think it can cause them a lot of problems. I really, truly do, especially with Mitch's offensive rebounding and blocking shots defensively. Coach, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming to Rock with LV Live during this playoff preview show. Knicks against the Celtics, man. Semifinals game tomorrow at 7:30. So, to me, I think that's the main thing with Mitch. Now, I don't know how you guys feel, man, but do you think we should see more of Shamet? You think that should happen? I think Tibbs needs to kind of like switch it up a bit, man. Depending on who's playing well. If Deuce doesn't have it going, I mean, he loves Deuce. I get it, but maybe we could see a little bit of Shamet. Shamet was on a heater to end the season. So my thing is, maybe you could ride that wave, right? So that's something to me you can consider, because you got to match 3-point shots, man. That's one thing they do at a high clip. We already know that with Boston. We got to be able to match that. If we can match their 3-point output by bringing guys off the bench, who could really shoot it, right? And Shamet is that guy. That's what he's known for. Then that's something we should really consider and really look at. I don't think it's something we should just diminish or kind of downplay, or Tibbs gets stuck in his ways, right? And kind of not, be open to throwing a little wrinkle, throwing in a little curveball, shall I say. And I think that that's something, we should really consider. Listen, this is the defending champs, right? They beat us 4 times this year, and very convincingly, outside of the last game. So I think everything's on the table, man. You got to be willing to do any and everything to try to pull out some wins. All right, let me hop in the chat, man. Let's see what everybody's talking about. Coach, man, appreciate you coming through rocking with me. He says, I think Mitch should take 10 shots. 10 shots? What do you mean? Like, Coach, like he should just shoot it? You think Mitch should just shoot it, you think? Nah, man, Mitch has got butter hands, man, as of late, man. Just keep him on oops and fighting and getting those putbacks. That's it. I don't think it should be anything more than that. Don't put too much more on his plate, Coach. Jeremy says the Knicks had their best game against Boston 4-8, losing by 2 points in OT. Mitchell Robinson was available for the first time this season. That's what I'm saying, Jeremy. I think that's huge. I think that's huge, Jeremy, because Mitch is great defensively, man. He's like exceptional defensively. And so I think that this is something where, we got to pay attention to that. We can't dismiss it and act like, because he can't shoot, we don't need him for that. We need him to switch defensively. Of course, defend, block shots, rebound, do all those things that make him Mitch. But, I mean, we say that, we feel that, but how does Tibbs feel? How does Tibbs feel? To me, that's the big issue here. Does he decide to give Mitch a little bit more minutes? Because I think this series may cause that, and I definitely think we should really try to use, our superpower, man, which I think is the 2 bigs. I think it's the 2 bigs. I think that's something we should take full advantage of. I don't think it's something we should diminish or kind of downplay, right? I think it's something we should definitely look into doing. I think it's very important for us to do that. I don't think it's something we should just kind of just act like, oh, it's not a big deal. I love that double big lineup, man. I really do. And I thought Mitch was a big factor last game, Jeremy. So, yeah, I'm totally in agreement with that. The great one says, did you say Brunson defended well? Listen, no. He was solid last game defensively. He wasn't like getting smoked defensively. He played a lot better than what we expect Brunson to play. Now, once again, I'm not saying Brunson's going to be a defensive stopper. I'm not saying that. But what I'm getting at is that last game against Boston, he was okay, man. He wasn't bad. He was holding his own. He was being really good off the switches. He wasn't getting blown by. I thought he was okay. So if he could bring somewhat of that into this series, I think we'll be good to go, right? But that is something that he did do well, I thought, last game. The great one says, how you come on here and say this with a straight face and beyond me? You deserve an Academy Award. Yeah, man. I mean, that's just what I think, man. That's just what I think from what I saw last game with Brunson. I thought he was okay defensively, man. I didn't think he looked like a turnstile. Like, you know what I mean? Usually he looks like a cone drill. He didn't look like that last game. So I thought he held his own. The great one says, Joe Mazzulla is leaps and bounds better than Tibbs. Well, that's going to be the issue too. That's going to be the issue too. What is Tibbs? What is Tibbs willing to change? This Grover, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV live for this playoff preview show for semifinals against the Boston Celtics, my New York Knicks. Eddie Kofi, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV live for this playoff preview show. But I totally agree with you. That's going to be the issue here. We're going to really have to kind of pay attention to the decisions Tibbs makes, right? Because Mazzulla has already proven he's coaching circles around Tibbs, right? I think the biggest thing that Tibbs has to do, this is the biggest one of all of it, and this could make or break the series. He's got to get out of that drop coverage. He's going to have to. He's not going to have a choice. He's going to have to get out of that drop coverage. He can't send help. Guys are going to have to, excuse my language, nut up and defend. They're going to have to be smart about them passing lanes, and we cannot give up wide open threes because you're too busy rotating because you're trying to help. I would not help. I would only help if someone gets blown by and you're trying to get a charge or something like that. But I would not do that at all. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't really help, and I wouldn't really play drop coverage. That's what Boston does, man. They put you in a situation to where you got to make a choice. You either gonna let me get this dunk or this layup, or I'm kicking out. I'm spraying out because that's what they do. They drive and kick. They drive and kick. They drive and kick. That's what they're looking to do more than they're looking to make the layup or make the dunk. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, of course, you let them rock. They'll do that, but that's what they're looking to do. And if you notice how they run their offense, every time someone's going to the basket, whoever's on the outside or whoever's on another side, they'll run to that corner on that same side looking for the ball to get sprayed out. And that's what they're looking to do every single time. You see it. I've rewatched a couple of these games, man, these last couple of days, and I said, okay, I see exactly what they're doing. And so, Tibbs has been around this thing longer than me, man. So he should see. So he's going to realize, okay, we cannot do drop coverage, man. You're going to have to switch, and you're going to have to defend. You're going to have to move them puppies, and that's it, man. So the great one, that's going to be the game within the game, right? Mazzulla against Tibbs. And see exactly what he does or whatever decisions and changes that he makes, because that could really make or break the series, man. It really, truly can. Okay, let me see. Everybody's in here, man. Appreciate everybody coming through rocking with me, man, for this show really quick. I wanted to hop on real fast to do this, man, because I definitely wanted to kind of touch bases with y'all, in regards to this series. Okay, the great one says Brunson could average 100 and we still wouldn't win. He couldn't beat Dallas with with Luka or Kyrie. Even when Brunson was lights out, get out the brooms. Oh, look at that. So the great one says we don't even win one. We don't even win one. Hey man, listen, you know what's ill about that statement? I can't even say you're wrong. I can't even say you're wrong about that because of how we've looked against them this year. So you have every right to feel how you feel. And it's valid too. But something in me just says I think this is going to be different this time around. And the reason why I say that is because the regular season is the regular season. And so for me, I think these guys are going to pay a lot more attention to detail because listen, we all know, everyone knows, no one picked us to win this series. No one. Some people have us losing in 5. It's very rare I've seen people saying this game, this is even going to go 7. And now a lot of that has to do with how we looked against them this year, guys. We looked terrible against them. The average loss of this year was by 16.3 points. We've lost to them. It's been like a blowout. We've almost lost them by 20 points a game. 16.3 was the average loss number. Like that was the number. 16.3. They shot over 50% from the field against us, and they shot almost, I believe, 43% from 3 against us this year. I mean, they've been dominant against us. So it's fair why you would say get the brooms out. It's valid. It's valid. But I think the playoffs are different. I think the playoffs are different. I think the focus is different. And then I think the biggest thing, what people aren't really talking about, is the injury bug that Boston's dealing with. I know they said Drew Holiday practiced, which I think is great, but he's dealing with a hamstring strain. And as we know, because of what happened to OG Anunoby last year, those hamstrings are no joke, especially what happened to Precious at the beginning of the season. He had a hamstring strain, and he was out for a couple of months. So I don't know what you're going to see of Drew Holiday, like how good he's going to be. So that's something to pay attention to for this series. I think Jaylen Brown is still dealing with a knee ailment. Like he left out the second half against us. He didn't come back in the game, so I think he's still dealing with that. And of course, Tatum has a wrist issue, which I think he's fine. I think he might have sprained it a little bit, but I think Tatum's going to be Tatum. So that's a tall order, man. So we got to be prepared for that. But I think that plays a big role here. The injury bugs, and once again, man, which has been Tibbs' biggest issue, deployment and strategy, right? What does that look like? How does he deploy this lineup? If Deuce doesn't have it going, is he okay with playing Shaman over Deuce? Campaign's got to come in because he's got to give Brunson some minutes. That's the only other ball handler we have coming off the bench. Of course, outside Kolick and Delon Wright. But I'm just saying those are the guys that's going to play. Right? So deployment, what does that look like? Now strategy, right? What is he going to do? Is he going to still do drop coverage? Are we still going to do read and react like offense, right? You can't expect those guys to do anything different now offensively because we're here now. So I doubt he puts in a whole new bunch of sets. But how do we look strategy-wise? How do those things come together to where we could pull out and upset the defending champs in 7? Like, I'm just being honest with you. So all that stuff falls on Tip's shoulders. So before I get to the rest of the chat, everybody, how deep do you think we go? Do we go 9 deep or 8 deep? Nick Yak, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rocking with LV Live tonight, man. On this playoff preview show. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, man. But I appreciate you coming through rocking with me and my crew. So you said Nick Yak says Brunson is a role player. OMG. Who said Brunson's a role player? Nick Yak. Please elaborate. Please elaborate, like what do you mean by that? I never said Brunson was a role player. Did somebody else say it in the tab in the chat? I didn't see it. I didn't get down to it yet. But please elaborate on that. Brunson is a role player. Oh, Disc Rover says the great one. Oh, that's NBIC, man. 2.0. He's back. So yeah, he's but he's a pillar here in the LV Live show. Much love to NBIC 2.0. Okay, so Nick Yak, you said McBride will bounce back. He's going to have to bounce back, man. Nick Yak. He's going to have to bounce back. In order for us to really make a good push here, and really really put the pressure on Boston, he's gonna have to play well. I'm not saying he will, but he's gonna have to do something monumental. He's gonna have to outplay Peyton Pritchard. That's gonna be big. And Peyton Pritchard has been an assassin this year for Boston coming off the bench. But Deuce has got the skills and the athletic ability. He's a better athlete than Peyton Pritchard. But so he's got to really kind of, he's got to take this rivalry thing personal. He's got to feel like I'm better than this guy. And I got to show them that I'm better than him. Even though, a lot of people feel Peyton Pritchard is better, which is true. It's valid. But Deuce has got to have this type of attitude. I want to show and prove against this guy. Right? He's got to have that, man. I'm not saying he doesn't have the fire in his belly. I think he does, but he's got to really, because listen, man, that could be a shift here. Because if he plays really well and kind of neutralizes Peyton Pritchard, that could be a game changer for this series. Big time. So Nick Yak, that's huge. And so this is where, to me, Deuce has got to step up, man. I don't know what's going on with him. He had a bad series. It's cool. Let's shake it off. Now we're on to a new series. Now it should be wash, rinse, repeat. Let's kind of shake it off, repeat. Let's go back out there and kind of get locked in, get focused, start getting our shots up, do what we need to do. And I think that's major because we're going to need this guy, man. We're going to really need him to step up. Coach says Mitch can take advantage of Kornet on both ends. Yo, I think so too, man. He's a better player than Kornet. He's a better player than him, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think I agree with you, Coach. I think he's got to take advantage of that, man. He's got to. Disgrover says our team overhelps, man. Yo, you know what, Disgrover? I don't know why they do that. I'm glad you mentioned it. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why. A part of me feels like it's something that's coached, Disgrover. And this is where it's a tips thing, right? The strategy stuff. I noticed they overhelp, especially Josh. Josh overhelps a lot. He leaves a lot of guys open because he's diving to help. If someone bounces the ball and they kind of have a guy on their hip, they're going to have to recover, man, and get back. Because I'm not giving up a three because, you're not moving your feet. Now, I get it. Watch man and ball. I understand that. But it can't be watch man and ball to the point where you just overhelp. It's just over the top. And Josh does it all the time. And I also see, Cat does it also. When Porzingis is in, that's why I said that drop and that switch, you got to switch on that. When Porzingis sets that screen on Brunson, he's got to switch on that. I would rather Porzingis take him in the post, shoot a fadeaway, than knocking down threes, man. Because that's what gets these guys in a rhythm. That's what Boston does. They get in a rhythm, they'll knock down 3 or 4 in a row. You'll find yourself down by 15 like that in the blink of an eye. And so to me, that's major with that. And that's, once again, this is a tips thing. I don't know if it's a strategy with the overhelping. I don't know if it is. And I think also too with the drop, that's a strategy also. He's got to change that up. He's not going to have a choice. And this is where, do we see Tibbs being stubborn Tibbs, or is he going to adjust? The great one says, we don't have any playmakers to utilize Mitch, and we don't have a head coach that knows how to run plays according to what the game gives you. It's a valid point, sir. Valid point. Eddie Kofi says Tibbs has not learned anything from the 4 games we're losing them in the regular season. Yeah, man, listen, this is going to be big for Tibbs, man. This is going to be huge for Tibbs. This is going to be huge for Tibbs. I think I'll put it to you like this, guys. Him getting into the second round is not a definite that he keeps his job because of that. Jay Supreme, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV Live, man, on this playoff preview show. Hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday too, man. Enjoy their Sunday, man. Enjoy their Sunday. I think I might go see what's that new Marvel movie? Thunderbolts? I think I might go see that, man. Like another hour or so. I think I might go shoot out and go see that real quick. I've been running around this week, man, trying to do so many different things. Just gotta LV lets you guys know how I'm moving. It's got a new washer and dryer. The old one broke down on me, man. I'm drying clothes. I'm like, what's that? Things just Sounds like an old muffler. I'm like, yo, someone's muffler's dragging. I thought it was somebody outside. That's my dryer downstairs. Got to get that changed, running around. Life, man. Life happens, man. So I'm running around doing that. But I think I might go see that, man. I heard it's a good flick. So I think I might go do that. Jay Supreme says, we'll be lucky if Tibbs goes 7 deep. Yo, Jay, he's gonna have to go like 8 or 9, man. I think he's gonna have to go 9 deep, man. 9 deep. I think he's gonna have to give Shamet some minutes, Jay, because we're gonna need wing help. We're gonna have to. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's something that he's gonna have to change. He's gonna have to play Shamet. Number one, not just because of that, Jay, because of the wing depth, but because also too, Jay, we need 3-point shooting. And if Deuce doesn't have it going, you got to get somebody that can light it up from the outside. You have to, because you got to keep up with these dudes offensively. And so I think that's huge. I think that's gigantic. He's gonna have to go 9 deep. He's gonna have to go Mitch, Shamet. You know, Payne's gonna play because we need a ball handler, and Deuce. Also, too, guys, what is the whole thing? And it was, I was like losing it in the last series. Why is Deuce bringing up the ball and running the offense? He doesn't. That's not his superpower, man. But see, once again, this is the Tibbs thing. You got to take it out of his hands and have Campaign bring it down. Campaign's a better ball handler than Deuce. Bring it down, set up the offense. I'm not saying Campaign is going to be like John Stockton, but Deuce doesn't know what he's doing. You see him running. You saw what happened last game. He's trying to break down Cade Cunningham and slipping and falling. The ball is rolling out of bounds. I'm like, dogs, what are you doing, man? They subbed him out quick after that. Tibbs got him up out of there. But that's Tibbs' fault because you're telling this guy to bring the ball. I do not want him bringing the ball up. Like, at all. I don't even know why they're doing that. That's really, really bad, man. Like, that's really, like, they cannot do that. He should not be bringing the ball up. They should be taking, a part of what Detroit did with Beasley. That's what you want Deuce doing. Coming off of them screens, ready to shoot. That's it. We don't want Beasley's not bringing the ball up trying to run the offense. He doesn't do that. Deuce doesn't do that neither. I'm confused. But once again, that's coaching, man. That's not the Deuce is going to fall back if the coach tells him to. Deuce ain't going to just tell Tibbs, now I'm running a point. Like, it don't go like that. You the coach. Strategy and deployment. There you go, man. Kind of seeing some new people coming up in here. Rand, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rocking with LV Live. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, man. But I appreciate you coming through rocking with me and my crew, man, on this playoff preview show. Uncle Dre, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live, man. Truly appreciate you coming through rocking with me and my crew on this playoff preview show, man. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Nice. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live. Nice. I believe you subscribe, right? I've seen you here before, man. Hope all is well with you, sir. Everybody coming through rocking with me, man. It's truly, truly appreciated. Trust me, it is. Also, too, man, really quick, man. I'm just, like I said, I've been so busy. Big shouts to y'all, man. Big shouts to y'all. I don't really kind of like brag. I'm not into that. I don't do that. But show, man, LV's over 4K, man. 4K subscribers. My numbers are rising, man. That's all because of y'all. You know, I didn't really do a show to say like, oh, I got this, but I saw it today and I was like, yo, man, big shouts to y'all. So my numbers are doing pretty good, man, but I've been doing this. I do this for y'all, man. I've been doing this from day when I'm doing this dolo too. This is all me. I ain't got no team. I ain't got nothing. This is just LV doing him. And so, you know, my numbers have gotten up, man, but that's all because of y'all, man. It really, really is. You know, all my day one guys up in here, you know, Big Taz, Gravity, you know, Disc Rover, all these dudes up in here to come through rocking with me, man. I truly appreciate y'all. You know, I do it for y'all, man. MBIC, him too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets love up in here, man, because I do this for y'all. I really, really do. I love talking Knicks, love talking sports. I played sports my whole life, man, since I was a young pup all the way up to a couple years ago, man. LV's knees finished, man. Once I couldn't clap backboard no more making layups, I said, I'm finished. I'm finished. I can't play in a 40 and over league. It's over. I can't do it. But yeah, man. So I appreciate y'all, man. I truly, truly do. I truly, truly do. Okay, let me see what everybody's talking up in here. Okay, Uncle Dre says, game one's going to tell us what type of team we are. We got 4 chances to shake up, shock the world. Right. Agreed, man. Uncle Dre, I don't know what it is, but something tells me that I think we're going to play really, really well this series. That last game said a lot to me because I saw a team that was focused and for the first time all year, well, there was other times too. Maybe the Minnesota game and the Denver game, right? But last game, I saw a team that wanted it against Boston. You can see the focus and how well we played. Even when we got down by a little bit, we made a push in that fourth quarter. I thought Bridges was big. I thought Towns was getting bitsy. Brunson was Brunson. Josh Hart being Josh Hart. OG Anunoby coming up with big rebounds and putbacks. We wanted it, right? So I think you're going to see a different team Monday. I think we're going to really get after it. And I think, they pose different issues than Detroit. Excuse me. Detroit doesn't have the shooters, but Detroit is better defensively, I think. They get after it a little bit more. They don't have a Thompson that can really, really give problems at the top of the key, right? They don't have a big monster in the middle like Duran that's blocking up space and getting rebounds. And, they really get after it defensively. They're a really feisty team. That's a different task than this. Boston, even though they are defensively, they're more of a finesse team. So I think the Knicks, last series, believe it or not, prepared them for this. I think they're going to bring some of that grit on top of the finesse to really, really kind of shock these dudes. But to your point, Uncle Dre, game one's going to say a lot. It's going to say a lot about what we're going to be going forward in this series. But if you want my honest opinion, I think the players are going to be ready. I think this is a Mazzulla and Tibbs thing. I think this is a game within a game, a strategy that's going to be that. And the Tibbs has got to pull the right strings, man, because if not, it's going to be an ill summer, man. It's going to be an ill summer. Tim, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV Live, man. Hope all is well with you, man. Harlem all day, Tim. You know what time it is. Harlem all day, man. All the fly guys come from uptown, man. Money making Manhattan. We know this, man. No disrespect to them and the bros. I love all the bros, man. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't get at me crazy. But Tim know what I'm talking about, man. All my Harlem nights out there, you know what's up. Okay, let me see the chat. Everybody's in here, man. Let me see. Disc Grover says we about to see some headlines this summer. Disc Grover, man, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, Disc Grover. I'll be honest with you. I just wouldn't be because it's Brunson's heroic saved him big time, right? And I think that, you could see it on Tibbs' face the last game. You could see the nervousness in his face. The camera panned to him a couple of times when the team was just kind of losing it in the end. And you could see his face kind of getting red. You could see the nervousness on his face because he's realizing that this is his last shot. If he don't get it done here, he's done. He's finished. He's never going to get another job in this league again. So, and Brunson saved him big time, which he's done since he's gotten here. So, he better put on a good showing. I tell you that against Boston. If it's a gentleman's sweep or we get swept, he's finished. I think he's done. I don't think he can get saved by that. If we go 7, I think he'll be back next year. I doubt he comes back if we get smoked in the first round. Nick Yak says McBride is 3-1 assist turnover during year 4, 4-1 of his career. He doesn't turn the ball over. He is just off his game for a while, but I believe he really will have a bounce back. He's going to have to, Nick Yak, man. He's going to have to. He's going to have to, man. He's going to have to. He's going to have to, man. Like you see, I'm kind of pausing because I'm sitting here thinking, Nick Yak, like he has no choice. He's gonna listen. A lot of people aren't going to say this, but from what I heard, the insiders were saying, you know what was a big part of them making that move for Dante? They didn't want to move off of Dante, but they had confidence in Deuce. Not saying Deuce is better, but they felt that Deuce can weather things a little bit more because they knew they had a punch, offensive punch coming off the bench. If Deuce wasn't what he was, I don't know if they make that deal because of Dante and what he provides. You understand what I'm saying? But because of how Deuce's ascension is what made it easy for them to say, all right, cool, we'll give up Dante to get Towns. But I thought that I heard Deuce played a big part with that because of how well he's been playing these last 2 years. But he's kind of hitting like a downward spiral, man. You know, I don't know, but he has to play better. Nick Yak has to. Jay Supreme said, "You got those, yeah, man. Yo, Jay, man. Yo, Jay, man. It's over, man. I used to be able to grab rim and all that, could come through, and clap backboard, all that. I used to be doing all that, man. Let me tell you a true story. Let me tell you when I knew I was over. I was playing full court a couple years ago, maybe about a year and a half. Playing full court, right? Just doing my thing. I was holding my own. And what happened here? And I went up for a rebound. True story, man. I went up for a rebound. I thought I had it. This young boy on my team, he was on my team. Young boy. You know what I mean? He probably was about 22. He was young. He jumped up over me, grabbed the rebound with the one arm, and I said, "I got it, OG." He kept pushing it up the court. I said, "Yo." After the game was over, we won. I was off that. I said, "Yo, I'm good. I'm out." They said, "Yo, you out, OG?" I said, "Yeah, I'm done." I said, "Yo." So I gave this other kid that was on the side, "Yo, you got my spot." True story, man. True story. I went up for the rebound, and I was doing good too. I was hitting my jumper. You know, my jumpers. I'm a jump shooter, so I was going to rack, finishing. My jump stop. You know what I mean? Throwing ill passes. You know what I mean? So I'm in my rhythm. But yo, B, I went up for the rebound. Young boy just grabbed it one arm too. I got it, OG. I said, "Yo, what?" Oh man. I said it's over. I said it's over. Man. And then yo, also too, I'm gonna show y'all something. I started playing, right? Because I usually wear like Nikes, you know what I'm saying? I always wore Nikes. That's what I always wore, right? Legs started bothering me. Feet started bothering me, right? So this is what LV did. See, I like to share with y'all because this family right here, this is what LV went out and brought for my over 40 men's league. Check it out. Now my Nikes, they not in here, but they this is my office here. My Nikes aren't in here, right? But I went out. True story. This is how you know it's over, B. I had to wrap it up after this. I went out and I got these. Got the Randalls. Because it got the cushion right here and the other cushion. I went out, played in these. Yo, true story. Got like 20 that day in these. Super comfortable, B. And then I said, yo, you know what? Yo, I'm playing myself, dog. It's over. It's over. I'm trying to keep it together. It's over, man. Got the Randalls. I haven't brought these back out in a minute. It's just been over, man. It's over for me. These joints is all right. Yo, super comfortable though. Super comfortable. The cushion is ill. This joint feel like you playing on pillows. That's what I had to turn to, B. See, that's how you know it's over, man. It's over. But I'm good on that though. I'm good on that. I got, you know what I'm saying? I had my time. That was LV story time for y'all. Cali Passion, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming to Rock with LV Live. Playoff preview show with LV, man. See everybody coming in here really quick. Everybody, Lionel Monos, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming to Rock with LV Live. Everybody's rolling in here, man. Oh, Jay Supreme says, "Hey, don't diss us." No, never that. Yo, Jay, I used to be out there heavy, man. I got family out there. You know, I used to go. Jay, I used to go to Green Acres. I think I told you that. I used to go to Green Acres. I used to go to Roosevelt Field Mall. Yo, Jay, they got some things out there, Jay. Back in my day, I was like, yo, I didn't know they was out here like this in Roosevelt Fields. That's all. You know what I'm saying? That's another conversation. But I'm just saying, I had to make that trek, man. I got family out there. You know what I'm saying? Used to shop on Jamaica Avenue. You know what I'm saying? Go out to the Coliseum. Eric Green, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live, man, for this playoff preview show. Hope all is well. Hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday, man. We sitting here just talking Knicks stuff, man. Tim says, man, if we lose this series, Tibbs still might be fired. If it might be, yo, you know what? Tim, yeah, man. I wouldn't be surprised, Tim. I wouldn't be surprised. I just wouldn't be. I wouldn't be, man. Lionel Mona says, win or lose, man. Just be competitive. Make it a series. Agreed. My man, nice at Game On, man. We got to steal this one. No lie. If we want to give ourselves a chance, beat them. Agreed. Khaled Pasha says we should get swept so that we could fire Tibbs for sure and upgrade this team. I either want to win the series, take it to 7 games, or get swept so we can clean house and get more talent in here. Yo, Khaled, man. Yo, that's an ill take, man. Yo, listen, how many people feel the way Khaled feels, man? Are you guys okay with getting smoked just so we can get Tibbs up out of here? This is an ill take right here. This is an ill take. My man, Disc Rover, man, is always coming through with the heat. Says I really rather not get swept. Okay, so Disc Rover, you don't want to get swept. Tim says, we gotta win at least 2 games. Nice says to the no. Okay, H to the no, right. This Rover says, "What if we get swept? 100% meant Tibbs is gone. Then just go to Cancun now, right?" Agreed. Jay Supreme said that's the only way he gets fired if Tibbs gets totally embarrassed. Yo, Khaled, man, that's a good. Yo, listen, that's an ill take, man. That's an ill take. You know why that's an ill take? Here's the reason why. Because I love my team and I want them to win. But it's ill because when you watch this team, we watched all 82 games. I watched all 82 games, man. I didn't miss nothing. And I think that's why there's this disappointment with this team, because you saw like we have so much potential, but you're like, yo, why aren't we playing? Like, why aren't we meeting certain expectations? Why do we seem like we're not living up to certain things, right? Like, it's a weird place. And you get to a point where you could blame players, but so much. This is the team. Like people can complain about Bridges and complain about Towns and OG and Deuce. Those guys aren't going anywhere. They just got here, man. Do you really think the Knicks are going to let Bridges go? And they just gave up 5 picks for the guy. It's just a year in. Like they didn't even get. It's not even the car's not even warmed up yet. For them to it's not really a good sample size. And also too, he had an exceptional playoff series against Detroit. So he's showing you his worth. He's gonna get an extension. He's not going anywhere. So you got to ask yourself, even if we win this game, even if it goes 7 and we lose, can Tibbs get us over the hump? You understand what I'm saying? Can Tibbs get us over the hump? Can he get this team over the hump to where we could beat a Boston, beat a Cleveland, beat an OKC? Like what does that look like? You understand what I'm saying? Jay Simpson, LV, man, to be honest, Boston's 9-man rotation is simply better than ours. That's a fact. Now, listen, agreed. Okay, starting five. Are they exceptionally better than us? Maybe I'll give them a little edge, right? Maybe a little edge, right? Tatum and Brown are better at the wings. I think we're better at the top of the key, right? Brunson is better than both White and Holiday. I think Towns and Porzingis is a wash. I think they're kind of like equal in a sense. But on the bench is where they're better, right? But I think Mitch is better than Luke Cornett. But Mitch can't stay healthy, right? Peyton Pritchard is leaps and bounds better than Deuce. They got Hauser, they got Al Horford, right? So that's their 9. So, right, they're better, but I don't know, like by so much, Jay. Like, is it exceptionally better? But my question is, guys, if we get another person on the bench, an extra maybe, I don't know, 2 more guys. Let's say we let Shaman go, and we let what's the young bull name? Sorry, we let Campaign go. Right? Who are we going to get back to fill those slots to maybe get us to a point where our 9-man rotation is legit? Because Mitch is coming back. I don't think Mitch is going anywhere. So you got Mitch, you got Deuce off the bench. They're going to keep Deuce. So you need 2 more, right? So that to me is what's going to put us over. But you ready? Here we go, guys. We're not just talking deployment. We're talking strategy also, right? So what offensive sets are we running? That's Tibbs' biggest issue, right? What defensive sets is he running? He's a defensive guy, but his defense has been atrocious this year with that drop coverage, right? So once again, now we got to think of all the missing pieces here, right? So it's a big jambalaya because the starting 5 is a starting 5. Those guys aren't going anywhere. So you're going to need somebody in here that's going to take the most. So that's why Khaled Pasher's his breakdown there is kind of ill, because regardless of what happens, guys, swept or we have a fight in 7 and it goes 7 games, is Tibbs still the guy for the job? Is he? I don't know, man. I don't think so. Man. I really don't, because there's been too many times this year I saw certain things. I said, yo, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And thank God for Brunson, man. Thank God for Brunson, because we was going 7. We was going 7 if it wasn't for Brunson's heroics. But this sounds very similar to Chicago, right? Derrick Rose heroics, right? To why that team was that good, because they had a bunch of role players on there too. Joakim Noah was a role player. He played hard. Luol Deng was just a good wing. Boozer was okay. They didn't have, like, it wasn't like they were just eons better than everybody. They had Derrick Rose. Just like we got Brunson. Look at this Grover. Here we go. Who's coming through with the heat? LV, man, I'm going to be 100 with you. Even if we win a chip, I want Tibbs going. Yeah, man. A lot of people want Tibbs out of here, man. Yeah, a lot of people want Tibbs out of here, man. They want him gone. Jay Supreme said, yo, LV, man, my boy said the Knicks offense. Yeah, yo, Jay, it is organized playground ball. Listen, man. It's ISO, man. He's saying it's a read and react. That ain't read and react. That's just a nice way of saying I'm going one-on-one if I see something I like. That's all it is. That's all it is. I don't think it's anything but that, man. He's 1,000% correct, whoever your homeboy is, because I saw that. I saw that from deep. I said, yo, they not running. They coming off of screens going one-on-one with everything. Even that time, remember last game, Towns brought the ball up and just went one-on-one from the top of the key. What coach would co-sign that? But it's just like Jeff Teague said. I said it on my show 1,000 times. I even played the clip. He said, yo, Tibbs don't really be coaching you, man. He said he don't. He said he just go down, up. What are you doing, man? Down, up. You could shoot as much as you want. You could do. That's what Jeff Teague said. Come on, these are guys that played with the guy. Now, certain players aren't going to complain about it. You know why certain players aren't going to complain? They're not going to complain about him because he lets them do what they want to do. So if you're the guy, you could shoot as, like Jeff Teague said, you could shoot as much as you want. You could do whatever you want. So guys love that. That's why Randall loved being here, because Tibbs let Randall do what he wanted to do. So certain guys love that. They love that freedom. He lets Brunson do what he wants. Brunson does what he wants out there. Brunson sometimes don't even run the offense. He going 1-4 flat, and that's it. There'll be dudes wide open. He's shooting between 2 and 3 people, right? I'm just saying, this is what goes on when it starts getting crazy. And we saw that in the Detroit series. Thank God for Brunson's heroics. I mean, this is just the truth, guys. I mean, we're not going to sit here and sugarcoat things. This is just the honest to God truth. Now, we got to worry about Boston. I understand that. But, I had to really touch on, Khaled's breakdown there, man, because that was ill. That was ill. That basically, I don't care what happens. Just get him out of here. That speaks volumes, man. That speaks volumes. Tim says, man, we need to get into Boston and take game 1 and make a statement. It's not going to be easy to beat us, right? Agreed. Tim, agreed. Well said, sir. Agreed. Agreed. This Rover says, bring Johnny home. He wants to bring Johnny Bryant. Nick Yak said, Tibbs didn't call for a foul last game because play was off and it made basket take the lead. And Boston took the ball right down the court and time left. That's on the players, not coach. I don't know, Nick Yak. That's not what happened that game. He didn't relay that to the players that's what was supposed to happen, man. I remember when I was, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean, a lot of it is on the players, but I don't know, Nick Yak, man. We've seen a lot of things this year that makes you raise an eyebrow. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We got to see, man. I just had the Khaled let off a heat rock up in here, man. And so I wanted to talk about it, see how everyone felt about that. It's going to be ill. It's going to be ill to see. It's going to be ill to see. But, guys, I'm going to share something with you right now. I think this is going to be the matchup. This is going to be the matchup that everyone's going to want to see. I'm going to share this with you guys right now. Let me see here. I think this is going to be the matchup, guys. I think this is going to be a matchup. They've been going at it since high school. They've been going at bunch of don't throw dudes in high school. Brunson cold, ain't he? Even in high school, he still had it, man. I think that's the matchup right there. Good Brunson banger right here. Oh, his head in high school. Brunson had a Brunson, man. I saw another clip. They showed Brunson dunking it on dude's head. I think that's going to be a matchup, man. I think that's going to be a matchup. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Whose star can make more shots, man? I think the supporting cast is going to be big, but I think Brunson's got to be Brunson, man. He's got to come up big, man. He's got to come up big. Well, man, Tim says now's the time for us to get revenge against in the top teams we lose to. Agreed, Tim. Agreed. Well said. All right, people, listen, let me get up out of here, man. Listen, I appreciate everybody coming through rocking with me today, man, on this playoff preview show. All right, listen, I will be back tomorrow to discuss the game. So please come through after the game so we can talk about it and chop it up. And let's try to steal this first game, man, against Boston in the semifinals tomorrow night. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button, hit that like button, people. All right. Also, too, if it's your first time coming through rocking with me and my crew, please subscribe to the channel, man. All right. Also, too, if you don't leave comments, you haven't left comments before, please leave comments because I do respond to them. And also, too, if you're watching this on replay, gang, please subscribe, man. Come through and rock with my crew. All right. I appreciate everybody coming through rock with me. I will be back Monday to discuss game 1. So please come through and check that out. All right. I'm LV Live, and that's my show, and I'm out of here, people. Peace.